Hey everyone, welcome. This is WebDev Wednesday number 2, and in this episode of WebDev Wednesday, we gonna do a review, or we're gonna learn few methods, few commonly used methods on arrays, right? So JavaScript as a modern language has several, like more than 30 methods uh, that come with arrays, right? That we can use to transform arrays or play around with arrays and make use of these methods to achieve a lot of things. Now, arrays are really common, very commonly used data structures, and it's really important to know these methods so that it can make you achieve things faster, whatever that you're trying to do with the arrays. And yeah, let's go ahead and look some of the commonly used array methods. So right, and the four methods we're gonna look in this video is our find, every, filter, map. I'm just gonna write it down here, right? Find, every, filter, and map. So these are some of the very commonly used array methods. Okay, so in order to show them, I have created a JS fiddle. So if you go to this website at JS fiddle, and you can play around with HTML, JSON, CSS, right? And you can see your output over here and your console over here. You might not see your console at first, so just go to head to settings and just toggle this, and you should be able to see the console here. So console will print anything that we do with console.log in JavaScript. So that's what we will see over here. Okay, yeah, let's get started. Okay, so the first method we have is a find. So what find allows us to do is find us, like just as it says, find a specific element out of an array, right? And how do we do that? Let's say so first of all, we have this array of objects, and each object is a character from a popular TV show Game of Thrones. So we have these three key pairs in every object here: name, style, and favorite color. Okay, so the name is the name of the character, style is how they fight, and what is their favorite color. So favorite color, I obviously are assumptions here. Yeah. Okay, let's say I wanted to find someone who uses the style swords, right? And how would I do that? So one way someone would do it is something like this. They probably initialize an index like this, okay, and then they would loop. Okay, so then they would like loop over it. Something like this. N is less than or equals to characters dot length. Yeah, so this should come first, right? And yeah, so then while they're doing loop with this, having a for loop with n, they would check that each character has name equal to sorry, not name, right? Style equal to swords. Is it swords? If so, then they would like set the I value to the current index like this. And after this, once the loop is completed, the I would have a value of greater than 0 or 0 if this for loop finds a character with the styles words. So then they can console log it like this: characters and I. So let's try to run this. So in order to run, you can do I guess control enter or command enter, and it will run it over here. Yeah, it says style is undefined for some. I think we don't need to do this. Just less than it should be enough. Yeah. So you can see we found a robot with the styles words. Okay. So yeah, it did not get as the first one. Instead, it got the last one since it ran for all of the elements, and this was the last one. It gave us the swords one. Yeah. Now this is a lot of code to do a simple thing, right? With array methods, we can do it much easily, like so. I will show you. Okay. Now I'll create a const like this, character with sword, and what we'll do is we'll say characters find. Okay, and find is now methods that is available on arrays, and find takes in a function as an argument. Okay, so these kind of functions, right, or methods that take another function or return another function are called higher order functions. Now thing is, find, whatever the function you give it, it calls it or passes it 3 arguments, right? The first one is the element itself. The second one would be the index of the element, or like the position of the element in the array, and third argument would be the array itself. Okay. Okay, yeah, so let's write a function that we have to pass on. Okay, I'm gonna just call it finder, and the first one would be element, second one would be index, third one would be the array itself. Okay, so just also first log the element. Okay, so what do we want this finder thing to do? We want to check, right, if the person is if the element style is swords. So we'll do like this. So if it's like that, we'll return true. Now the second part of the find function is the return. Like find wants every call of the function to return either true or false, a boolean basically. Now depending on that, whenever the function returns true, find is going to stop passing this function to each element, and then just return the first element that matches this condition of if style equals to sword. Yeah, now I'm just gonna pass this finder to the find function like this, and let's log what we get in the character with swords. Okay, done. Now I'm gonna clear the console here and run this code. Yes, so you can see the first element that it found someone with swords, it gave us that function instead of going through all of them. So that's the thing with find. Now this actually is not that we could actually optimize how we've written the function. Not optimize, but we could make it look a little bit better. So we can just pass the function directly. We can directly declare a function here itself. So like we said, the first one would be the element, right? We can just say el, and we give an arrow function, and we open these curly braces here. Okay, and we can check like this: if style equals swords, return true. Now this will have the same effect as well. Okay, clear console. I'm gonna run this. You can see that I got it. We can even further simplify this by doing so. el.style equals swords. This will again do the same thing. You can see it over here. So this is called implicit return in array function, in arrow functions. So when you don't have any curly braces, what happens is whatever this statement gives, that is implicitly or like immediately returned in this for the find function, right? Yeah. So just to recap, the find function, what it does is it takes up a function, okay, so such as this arrow function that is here, and it applies that function or calls that function for every element in the array in the order, okay, and any element that matches this condition or passes this test, it returns that and stops executing further. So that's how find works. Okay, now let's try to do another search with find. Let's say we want to find someone who has a character or a favorite color as blue. So I'm going to create a constant character with favorite color blue equals to characters find el. I'm going to call it a character since that sounds more meaningful. Character dot fav color is blue. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna log this as well. Copy paste this. And again, yeah, you can see we found again Jon Snow as person who has a favorite color blue. Okay. One more thing, one more time, we'll this time try to find someone who has a favorite color pink. Yep, we found Ned from the object with name Ned who has a favorite color of pink. Great. So there we learned one very commonly used method of arrays in JavaScript, find. Okay, let's move on. Yeah. Now let's look at every. Now every method is similar to find, except that it returns true or false if every function, just like it sounds, passes the test or passes the condition. So if I were to copy paste this and run it, gonna change the name here to everyone. I'm gonna log that variable. Let's see what do we find. I didn't change the function name here. Okay, so it says false, which means that everyone does not have the favorite color equals to pink. So that's what it means. So yeah, that's how you can use it. So let me change everyone's favorite color to pink and see what happens now. There's one blue over here. You can see that it's giving us true now. See, which means that every element in this array is passing this test of their favorite color being pink. So that's a little bit about every. Yeah, so that's how you use it when you want to verify that every element in a function passes some condition basically. Okay, yeah, so that's about every. Let's move on. So the next function that we're going to look at is filter. A filter again is something that you use when you want to like filter it, right? So let's say you want every character that has that uses swords, right? So we have three people here, three characters or objects here that use swords, right? And we want to get all of them who use swords. Yeah, so I'm gonna revert back the colors here. I think, not sure, this probably was red. Okay, all right, let's see how we can use filter. So what do we want? Const characters who use swords. Now the difference between the find and filter is that find will stop immediately as it finds one element which uses which passes the particular condition. The how filter is different is filter is gonna return an array itself of all the elements that passes the test. So that is the one huge difference here. So let's run this. Characters filter each character style is swords, right? Now let's try to log it. So I'm just gonna copy this character who is a sword variable into console log and try to run the function. It looks like we had a problem here. Let's see. Filter. What is the line number? It says 71. There's no 71. What? Okay, sorry, this is not how you comment in JavaScript. I don't know why I used it. Okay, now let's see. Let's run this. Okay, so you see that we have an array of 3 elements here, all of them which has style swords. Right, we have Ned, Robert, and Jon Snow whose style is sword. So that's filter for you. It basically filters out, gives and creates an array which includes all the elements that pass a given condition. Now let's try to run again. This time we will find characters who like pink. Right, we do have multiple people who do that, who have that. So similarly, characters filter character. I'm gonna use the short form here. Character whose favorite color is equal to pink. Okay, I'm gonna log this now. Gonna copy paste the variable name and log. Okay, here you see that we have characters with favorite color pink. Alright, with that we done filter as well. We used filter to filter out the characters who use swords and who use pink, and you can combine them both like this as well. Combine both conditions with ampersand twice. So now this means that who like pink and who also use swords. If you look at it, that condition is actually true for all of them. So I'm just gonna change Robert favorite color to blue, and let's run this and see what we get. What happened now? Character. Okay, this here is cat, right? Okay. Yeah. So you can see only two people are there who have a favorite color pink and also use swords. Yep. Great. Now let's look at the last method for this video, map. Now we're gonna look at map. So map is an interesting function because what map does is it takes any function that you give and applies to every element, and then whatever your function returns creates an array out of it. Basically it allows you to transform any given array. Yeah, let's say we have we have this characters array. What if I wanted an array which only had the name of characters, right? So we can achieve that like this: const names. So again, what we want is an array with only the names of the character. So we can do this characters map, and for every character I want their name. I'll just do dot name. All right, now let me log this and let's see what we get. You can see that I have an array here, and this array has only the names of all the characters. Now that's the cool thing about map. It lets you create an array out of an array with the way you want to transform it. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show you that you can also create an array of objects from an array of objects, right? So what I'll do is I'll open these braces and I'll return an object. Okay, so in this object I only want the name and the style, right? So what I'll do is name char name and style char dot style, and I'm gonna console log it again. Let's see what we get. Right, we got as expected only the name and style of all the characters. Now let's go a step ahead and try to like create UI out of this set of characters, right? Basically what we want to do is render these people on the screen here with their names, right? So the way we can do it is, so I'm going to create a constant markup, a variable markup. So which will have like characters. It's gonna map these characters into markup, basically. Like I wanted to render it all the characters in a list. So what I'll do is I'll open this li tag and then place the character name in the middle and then close the list tag. Okay, and now I want to put this markup inside our HTML. So in here I'll create I'll create a UL, right, an unordered list, and I'll give it an ID of list. Yes, so what I'll do is I'll put this markup that has been created inside the list, right? Okay, but before that, let's see how our markup looks in console. I missed a plus over here. Great. So this is how it looks. Keeping the characters like this, when we actually render it instead of HTML, it will render as a proper list elements. Right. So let's if you look properly at it, we have the comma here, right? And what we want is like a string with just the markup and not the comma, right? So I'll just do HTML or like characters markup, and we'll use the array method join. So join like joins all the elements with any given string. So we'll just say join with an empty string, and let's see how the characters markup look. Yeah, so without commas we can see that it has logged it. Right, so now what we want is we want this markup inside our unordered list over here. Yeah, so now to achieve that, we'll get the element by its id list, and we'll set the inner HTML, right, to our characters markup. Awesome, you can see now that the markup shows up all the characters rendered. Now let's go one more step and render each character with their favorite color, right? In order to do that, what I'll do is I'll just add some inline style to each of the element, like this. Style equals color, whatever the character's favorite color is. There you go. Jon Snow is in a pink, pink, blue, Hodor in red, and pink and blue again. Great, we just learned of 4 array methods and use them on a characters array for multiple use cases. I hope you were able to learn. I hope this video was helpful in learning the array methods, and stay tuned for another video where we will explore more other array methods or more into objects and stuff soon in the next WebDevWednesday. Thank you. Bye. Take care.